What's up, crypto junkies? It's Jay and welcome to another video. It's hot, I'm a little sweaty, but I've got something that I think will really serve you well. Today, as you can see from the title of this video, we're going to talk about over $200,000 US loss from crypto. Now, this was mostly from the lending and cloud mining stuff that we've got. So let's just take a second and pause, let the trolls comment below with comments ranging from "you're a f***ing idiot" to "I'm unhappy with my life and really mad at you." There it is. Okay, now I'm back. Obviously, when people are out there trying and people are out there doing, there's always going to be that small percentage of what I call bleacher fans that are sitting in the bleachers for a very good reason. They're terrified to live life, so they'll try and attempt to chop you down. That I learned a long time ago should just not affect you at all, okay? And so we're going to talk about how you can share losses, who you should be sharing losses with in this video as well. But I've got some key points, probably 3 or 4 points that I want to bring up with you that I've learned from this. Because when you have something like this happen, you need to go back, fall back, reflect, and make a new plan and apply key flexion points that led to that result. You need to apply something different for the future to get what? To get a future result. But let's rewind before we get into the juicy stuff, and let's talk about state, mental state. Now, most people hold on to traumas, hold on to emotional experiences, and don't move forward. The world around us, everything is energy. We're all made from the same stuff. And there's a frequency going on. I don't know if you realize that or not. And when we decide, when we say, no, I'm gonna stay put, I cannot let this go, Jay. You don't get it. I need to keep talking about it. I need to keep harping. I need to keep being a victim. I need to keep talking about this to keep it alive in my mind. When we hold on to that, the world continues to move around us, however that looks and goes, right? I assume it's like a brain and, neurons firing, right? So when we decide, though, that we don't want to move forward and we're going to hold on to this thing, we stop growing. We stop moving, essentially, and we stay put. All these opportunities, all these different things that are already available to us, we don't see because we're blinded. It's like when you misplace your keys and you look around the house and you look around the house over and over again, and then when you've let it go and you've forgotten about it or whatever, you just say, I give up. What happens? You find them, right? But you find them in a place that you know you look because you're not crazy. So there's something going on there with reality distortion. And the same effect is happening here. We're choosing to not see anything that's good around us because remember, we got to harp on this. Society, maybe family, maybe bad conditioning has taught us we need to harp on losses, right? Especially normal people, unless you've played sports. If you've played sports, then you know about this concept of short-term memory, that let it go, forget it, let's get out there and let's play, and let's keep moving forward, right? Life itself should really be more like a game where you're learning from experiences and results and you're applying new things to the future, right? But anyway, I digress. So let's talk about these core points. Now we've set the context, right? We have to accept this reality. We have to be able to be open to moving on. If we can't, then you probably shouldn't watch the rest of this video. But the first big thing that I can tell you that I absolutely fell for, and at first I didn't want to admit this, but it was FOMO. I was newer into crypto. I had this set of rules. You guys remember all my portfolio videos and things like that. But when push came to shove, when the workload came with it, because the community grew so quick, I completely forgot about that. I completely acted in a different way than the things I was talking about. That many would consider hypocritical. So if you don't like that and you think I'm a hypocrite, feel free to exit the video now. Now that I've got people who want to continue on, it happens, right? Like that's just part of life. Like you've got this way that you want to be, this goal that you want to achieve, and sometimes you fall off track. The community was growing so quickly and there were so many other things going on, I got lazy. I wanted to be doing things daily. So my doing things daily, when I was looking at it, and I remember these feelings, right? When I'd have these feelings come up like, we have to keep moving today, I would look at, gosh, what do I want to do? Do I want to come over here and TA these coins and look at all these bigger projects and all this stuff that looks like a bunch of effort? Or do I want to shuffle around money between lending programs? Well, what do you know? That's what I went for. Not every day, but a lot of times, especially when my cortisol levels were high because I wasn't getting a lot of sleep and I was really stressed out. When your cortisol levels are high, you tend to switch into fight or flight and primal brain behavior, which is where you're much more reactive and you're looking at things in this world physically more than you would, right? So you're not really going with that flow, you're not following intuition as much, you're looking at things very black and white. So a lot of these days, I was falling for, okay, well, let me just do more lending stuff because this guy's already researched it or they've been around this long or you got to get in the beginning. FOMO, right? We have to keep that in check. How do you keep that in check though? Well, you need a few things. You need accountability in your life. You need a group of friends, family, somebody that's going to support you and not attempt to chop you down for their own personal gain so that they look like the big baller in the group, whether this is a guy or a girl, or family that's not going to attempt to guilt you and say, I told you so, this crypto stuff is bull. We don't want any of that around, okay? And now don't avoid that, but don't invite that into your personal circle to share these intimate losses or successes with. They just don't deserve it, okay? So we need accountability. The next thing we need is we need a plan, a tracker in front of our face every single day. I had this, but I can't lie to myself and say I looked at it every day because I didn't. And it was behind, oftentimes not getting updated. Make a tracker that's gonna help keep you accountable. Have people in your life that's going to help keep you accountable and support you. You want to have people in your life that you can share these intimate things with, your losses and your gains, all of that fun stuff, okay? You definitely don't want to be falling for FOMO, so you need to keep yourself in check. So how do we do that? Well, what I would suggest and what I'm going to provide under this video is a simple PDF. I call it the Self-Actualizing Questionnaire. And what that means in fancy terms is, remember Abraham Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs? You might have read that book or heard about it through school. It's one of the oldest PD books, I think, out there, right? And what it talks about is a lot of these primal things. What he was big on is what he called self-actualization. Simply put, it's a set of self-reflecting questions that you probably won't like, but it's as if you're stepping outside of yourself and looking in and attempting to answer those questions. You could do this another way. Play coach with yourself for a second. Every single week, you need to be checking in with yourself, just like a coach would. A coach isn't going to let you play on a team for very long without coming to you and saying, hey, how do you think you did today, this week, this month? Do you think we're getting better or worse? Where can we improve, right? All the tough questions. So you can play coach with yourself, or you can just act as though it's somebody else completely, somebody else on the team, and looking in, how could we do better? What was great this week? What was not so great? So you want to constantly be looking from the outside in with how we can improve. Yeah, you can look at it as sports, whatever. But also too, what this requires, and one of the things I hope you walk away with from all of my teaching and training is that you have to recategorize failure. Failure is not failure. It's just simply a result that you didn't like, that you got in a circumstance or experience. So what we need to do is look at that. How can we learn? How can we get better? And then apply that to the future. Just like a sports player would apply that to the next outing, to the next inning, to the next time he's out on the field. We do the same thing here. That brings me to the second big point that I want to share with you. So the second thing that we need to do, and part of the thing that was driving me nuts back then, is I was attempting to just be really big and be active in all these coins and all these platforms, and I don't even know why. Consider that FOMO to a degree, but I was attempting to have this big bloated portfolio for no reason. I can't give you a logical reason why I wanted that right now, looking back. One of the changes that I've made is I'm gonna keep a tighter portfolio, and I've got a new portfolio video that's coming out soon that I'll be sharing with you, and you'll see that the focus is very thin and very small. And the reason why is because back then, every coin was having a 1,000% week or 2,000% gain month. Just because every coin had that doesn't mean that we need to play in those coins. Also too, you need to really refine where you're getting your knowledge from. If you want to be a diehard in Crypto Junkie community, great. If you want to follow 15 people on Twitter for their TA, great. But just don't let that influence you to like jump in on a coin that you've never looked at, that you know nothing about, just because this guy's saying, man, it's going to break out of the wedge. I'm expecting a 10,000 increase on this one. ICOs over here, like there's just too much. And even if you're not ADD by nature, it really triggers a lot of those feelings like I should be doing more. I should be what? Reacting. So you want to always keep that reactivity in check, meaning that you want to stay calm and make sure that you're pulling from your own natural intuition. Do I feel good about this thing? Yes or no? That tends to steer us pretty clear and pretty accurate. The next thing I would say, and I don't know if this is a point in and of itself, but I wasn't putting enough towards sovereignty, let's call it. So the allocation I had towards precious metals and non-crypto stuff was like 5 to 10%. I would say it should be more than that, okay? I'm now putting 5 to 10% towards just gold per month. There needs to be more of that, more coming back out of crypto while the going is good. So the third point I want to talk about is pulling profit. I wasn't really doing this. I was pulling profit out from this platform and putting it into that one. Because again, remember everything that was going on, clouding my judgment. So I was fooling myself in saying that was diversification when it wasn't. And we don't want to diversify just for sake of saying we're in all these things and this false sense of safety. But we want to pull out profit when the going is good. And what I mean by that is, okay, I'll give you a simple example. Civitas, right? This is a Masternode coin. What I've noticed and what I've been tracking is that this coin will go down anywhere between $1.89 on the low end, and on the high end, it's seen as much as $5.35. Do the math on that. Do I really need to be in a coin that's got these wild volatility swings that is going like Bitcoin, that's going thousands, tens of thousands of dollars? Yes, some of my allocation should be there. But where I'm looking to pull profit from is these coins that have this predictability to them. And the predictability serves me way better than trying to keep up with Bitcoin. Trying to keep up with Bitcoin is a full-time job. So I'm only going to put so much in there. And then when there's these big, audacious profits going from 6,000 to 30,000 or whatever your prediction is for this year, then I'll pull some profit out of that. But that's a longer term thing. A shorter term thing is these smaller coins that are swinging, let's say, between $1 and $6 every single week, every single month. So that's my shorter term thing. So everything's falling into play in multiple levels now. I've got my longer term, my 6, 12, 24 month money. I've got my 30, 60, 90 day money. And that is really a balanced portfolio for what I'm using it for. You might be different. You might have all your money in crypto and you're never going to pull it out. That's entirely up to you. So keep that in check as well. But we need to pull out profit when the going is good. And if you're playing around with the same coins, which was my last point, you're not going so wide and so thin just for the sake of doing it. You're memorizing these patterns with these coins that you are trading on an ongoing, consistent basis. So you can predict what's going to happen with it, and you can pull out predictable profits. And that is the stuff that we then take and we allocate over here to something new, or now we bridge out and we go into a Masternode over here, ICO stuff over there. Maybe we branch out and start day trading. You have to look at the purpose of what you're doing in your portfolio and use that strategically and pull out profit. And that I kind of bled into point 4, and this is the last point I want to make in this video, but everything in your portfolio should really have a purpose. And I lost track of that and I lost sight of that myself, is everything should serve a purpose. So we've got 30-day, 60-day, 90-day money maybe. And that's what day trading is doing. And swing trading. It's making profit and making margins on a smaller time frame. Then let's stack another block on top of that with our slightly longer term time frame, like 12 months. Then 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Warren Buffett, he invests in things traditionally that he says, I'm investing in this for a lifetime. Like, what's the ideal time frame to invest, Warren? A lifetime. We've all heard this. We've all heard this over and over and over again. He likes slow and boring, predictable things that are going to grow over time because he doesn't need to pull that money out next week to make his rent payment. If you do, can you see how you need a completely different strategy? So what I would suggest is making a game plan with your portfolio based on your needs. I can't give that to you, but I can give you and talk about these pieces in a way that you can see, well, okay, this one will fit here, this one will fit here. Be on the lookout. That portfolio video will be dropping very soon where I talk about and try and modulize these pieces a little bit better than I have in the past, so that hopefully you can walk away from that video and put together your own game plan, okay? But everything in your portfolio needs to serve a purpose. That's my fourth and final point. All right, my friends, that's all I've got for you in this video. I've literally shot this video 3 times now. I'm sweating my ass off. I hope you found some value in it. If you have, spread it around. Help us tip the algorithms on YouTube and get this message around, because I want more people to be successful in crypto. This is one of the ways we do it. We talk about our failures. We talk about the results that we got that were less than ideal and how we're going to move forward. What's the plan now? Where are we going from here? We always have to have that future pacing, right? We always have to be looking towards getting somewhere out there. If we don't, we stay still and we just hover, and the world continues to move around us and we don't move with it. Okay, my friends, that's it. See ya. If you like what we're doing on the channel, take a second, hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification.
This just in.
Crypto Junkies is now over 1,000 people. 2,500 people. We now have over 3,000 people. 4,600 have crossed over 5,000 people in our Discord chat community.